This week on Premier Interschools, we head to Maritzburg, where two famous KZN rugby schools meet again. One is a powerhouse in the Natal Midlands. The other is a coastal legend. It's Maritzburg College versus Glenwood, right here on Premier Interschools, live on Supersport.
Premier Interschools Rugby, feast your eyes on it.
All of the schools ready to sing to one another, the players back to the fans. Wow.
Oh, yes!
Look at that.
Bully his way over. The speedster. Struck it up for the line. It's another try.
Oh, he's done brilliantly. And away he goes.
Oh, that's the stuff. Schoolboy rugby, ladies and gentlemen.
A huge day in World Schools Rugby.
The rugby season reopened with a bang after the winter holidays, with a massive game between Paarl Boys and Parel Ghum. Acknowledged as the biggest schoolboy rugby event in the world, this year's Paarl Interschools did not disappoint.
Crack, a little isolated now, has to be getting support quickly. They may have turned it over. No, they haven't. Lutz goes short side, sticks it on the boot. It hangs for De Jong, and away they go. It's going to be a score for Paarl Boys High through Luke Carew. And Shah Jahan De Jong was the man to gather. Liederman has a crack himself. Short is the perennial call from referee. Boysa, however, gets over. Wow, what a game we're having here. The super quick Premier Interschools derby. This releases Labuskaghni, and he's away. The chip is called for. There's the pass in field. It's going to be a score for Liederman. What a game we're having under the sticks.
It seems as though he may have been cramping. Sorry, Liederman. Every Liederman, he has been absolutely everywhere.
Paul Jim. Kick charge down. How's the bounce? The gather and the score.
Looks as if he's going to award
It's
it.
awarded. The try is awarded. Hugo Ben Horn, the tireless number 8.
Here we see the replay.
Oh, he
And
lost it.
Does
He lost it.
score?
It shouldn't have been a try. He lost it.
They need to go 2 channels wider than that breakdown.
Kraus. Heidenreich with the hit.
Leave it.
They go again and a score. Or was it Losper, the centre? Might have dived over there. Beg his pardon. Incredible derby that is Paarl Boys High versus Paarl Gym. It's been a nail-biter to the bitter end.
On Saturday, 20 August, Grey College make the trip down to Stellenbosch to take on Paul Roos. And it's not just the rugby. The girls from Oranje Macy's are also travelling down to take on Bloemhof Macy's, right next door to the Paul Roos campus. And we end the 2022 Premier Interschools season in true style, as two big farm schools lock horns in Agterpaal. On Saturday, the 27th of August, it's Boland Landbou versus Oakdale Landbou. In this week's Premier Interschools encounter, the boys from Maritzburg have a score to settle. In May of this year, they lost by a single point to Glenwood on Dixon's Field in Durban. Can they deliver payback on their home turf as they confront their old rivals one last time? Glenwood and Maritzburg have been rugby opponents for over a century, and this Midlands encounter between the Red and Green armies will have all of the spectacle we've come to expect from this Derby Day event. Founded in 1863, Maritzburg College is the oldest boys' school in KZN, with 1,300 boys, a third of whom are boarders. Clark House, built in 1887, housed the original classrooms and the boarding house. Victoria Hall was used as a hospital for the British soldiers injured in the defence of Fort Napier during the Anglo-Boer War. Famous old boys include Proteas cricketers Jonty Rhodes and David Miller, and English cricketer Kevin Peterson. along with Olympic swimming gold medalist Darian Townsend. Rugby Old Boys include Springboks Joel Stransky, Butch James, Peter Grant, and Dan and Jesse Krill.
Glenwood is one of our traditional rivals for many, many years, going right back to 1921. And we certainly have the pleasure of hosting them shortly. We had a close game against them a little while ago where we lost by 1 point in the last minute, which was quite tough, but we did manage to beat them last year. And we look forward to hosting them again. The rivalry is very competitive, and the respect for both schools is right up there. It's something we really enjoy and appreciate.
Maritzburg's results show a side that is playing great rugby. Over the last 10 games, they've won 5 and lost 5, with some tough encounters against Paul Boys, Helt Mekaar, Hilton and Affies, and that 1 point loss to Glenwood in their previous game. However, they've notched solid wins over Northwood, Kersney, Westville, Pretoria Boys and Kes. College also has that all-important home ground advantage against Glenwood, and we can expect some entertaining, competitive rugby on Goldstones. Maritzburg coach Tim Orchard believes his boys have what it takes to turn the tables on their previous results against Glenwood.
Yeah, our last game of the season will be against Glenwood on Goldstones. We lost by a point to them on Dixon's this year earlier, and I think we have a shot. In the main, we're a better team against them, barring 1 or 2 errors at the end which allowed them to get that win. And we're looking to take the game to them and win the game.
It was very frustrating watching from the sideline because I didn't play that game. I was still recovering from an ankle strain. I think it will make a big difference in our home turf. Very big difference because the boys and the staff back us. Here at college and the coaches also back us and believe in the system that we play. So I think we'll have a good chance against them.
We played Glenwood away at Dixon's. It was a very good game. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to come away with the win, but we definitely got a lot of positives from that game. Fortunately, lost a few minutes with 1 point, but at the end of the day, I feel like we had won that game and we can focus on that as an extra bit of motivation for our next game against Glenwood at home.
The Glenwood game was, I wouldn't say a tough fixture. It was unfortunately of our own mistakes that we lost by that narrow point. Obviously, with them coming down to Goldstones again, we'll be looking to fix and fine-tune those mistakes to secure the victory this time.
Over the last 8 years, Glenwood has won 9 out of 10 games, but in recent years the margin has become increasingly smaller, and Maritzburg's recent win last year will be a confidence booster for the home side. The Green Army will be fighting on foreign soil, and with just the 1 point difference in the previous encounter, this game will be the contest of the week, with the 2 KZN rugby powerhouses both determined to take home the bragging rights. Glenwood High School was founded in 1910 and is one of the few Durban city schools to offer boarding facilities in Gibson House. The school's excellent media centre combines a traditional library with state-of-the-art computer facilities for technology-based learning. Glenwood has built a reputation as one of the top boys' schools in KZN. The Durban school has a proud legacy and is a force to be reckoned with on the sports fields. Glenwood has contributed more than 150 international sportsmen, including 7 rugby Springboks. Famous Glenwood Old Boys include New Zealand cricketer Colin Munro, professional surfer Geordie Smith, and Proteas cricketer Andile Palakweo. Recent Springbok Old Boys include John Allen, who played for both South Africa and Scotland, former skipper Warren Whiteley, and recent debutant scrum half Jaden Hendrickse.
The rivalry between the two schools goes back to 1921. So both schools have very proud rugby traditions. So the viewers can expect a fierce battle between the Red Army and the Green Army. We will not disappoint.
Over the last 10 games, Glenwood, like Maritzburg, has delivered 5 wins and 5 losses. They've had some tough encounters with schools like Polroos, Offies, Westville, and a 1-point loss to Hilton. But they've won against Kearsney, Maritzburg in their previous encounter, Clifton, Northwood, and Velkom. They enter this encounter with the win in May under their belt, but playing away means they will have to fight that much harder for every point, and Maritzburg will be a formidable opponent on Goldstones.
The game against Maritzburg College was a real nerve-wracking one for us. It was on our old boys' day. We knew they were a fantastic side. I mean, they got the most KZN reps in KZN this season. So started very well in that game, and then thought we had it under control, and they're a good side, and they came back at us, and we were actually behind with 3 minutes to go. We managed to get a 1-point win. So we're under no illusions how difficult it is playing at Goldstones, and I know we'll be up for the challenge.
So when we played Maritzburg College here on Dixon's, it was a very tight game. Boys showed a lot of character and the results took care of itself. Our expectations playing at their home turf is to good execution, proper mindset, yeah.
The game against college on the home turf will be very physical, and they're going to bring their forwards and their backlines very fast, and they're going to execute, and we also have to execute.
It's going to be a tough one because it's going to be up there in Goldstones, but I'm backing the boys, and as long as we stick to our game plan and we execute it at 100%, everything else will take care of itself.
Kickoff is this Saturday, the 13th of August at Maritzburg College. Get there early, because this will be a game to remember. It's Maritzburg versus Glenwood in Premier Interschools, live on Supersport this Saturday.
Premier Interschools Rugby, feast your eyes on it.
All of the schools ready to sing to one another, the players back to the fans. Wow.
Oh, yes!
Look at that, bully his way over.
The speedster. Splotched up for the line. It's another try.
Oh, he's done brilliantly. And away he goes.
Oh, that's the stuff. Schoolboy rugby, ladies and gentlemen.
A huge day in World Schools Rugby.